Hi everyone, and welcome back to PMI ACP coaching call. I am Krishna Chaitanya, a PMI authorized training partner for Agile Certified Practitioner certification. I hope the questions discussed in the last week's coaching call have given you some insights. And going forward, we'll be having these coaching calls every Wednesday. So you'll get a good set of 8 questions every week, every Wednesday, so that you can prepare better for your PMI ACP certification. Well, in today's session, we'll dive into 8 questions, 2 questions from each of PMI ACP, trying to help you understand the structure and style of questions so you can approach them with more confidence. Let's get started. Let me share my screen and show you the questions straight away. Well, as we discussed last week, before diving into the questions, so we'll go through how to approach the questions that are given in PMI ACP examination. First, slow down and read the questions so that you can understand the question better and identify the keywords. Every question will prompt you certain keywords, and through these keywords, you can understand the appropriate answer for the question. And every question will be from a specific perspective, whether it could be from a product owner's perspective, an agile coach's perspective, or a project manager's perspective. So understand which role is the question being asked from, and that will also help you, select the right answer. And if a question exceeds 3 lines, start reading the last lines first, wherein these last lines will actually help you understand the perspective. Okay, and also it will help you understand which agile methodology the question is referring to. So it is also very important that what agile methodology the question is referring to and answer the question appropriately. If you're not very clear about the question and what is being asked in the question, so you can also follow an elimination technique, which is a very effective method to approach any question, to go through every single option and justify whether it's a right or a wrong option. So that's how you'll get to a right answer. And in ACP examinations, you'll usually have two relevant answers, and two options are irrelevant. So by using the elimination technique, you can get to the right and appropriate answer. Let's get started with the questions for today. First, for the questions of Agile mindset domain. Okay, which Agile practice ensures adaptability to changing customer requirements? So let's see the options. First, progressive elaboration. So progressive elaboration actually ensures refinement of the requirements as in how we move forward in the project. So, but that does not actually emphasize or that focuses on changing customer requirements. So that is not an option. And daily stand-ups. Daily stand-ups again. That in the daily stand-ups, usually the team discusses what has been done from the previous daily stand-up to the current one, and what is that they are going to do in the next next working day, or until the next daily stand-up. And also raise any impediments that are coming in their way to working on that particular project. However, that does not again emphasize, or that does not imply to changing customer requirements. Okay, so that is also not an option. Incremental delivery. This is I would say a closest answer, but not exactly the right answer, because incremental delivery just says that we are delivering the product in small parts of increments basically, but it does not emphasize again on the customer changing requirements. Right, the option D, iterative development. Okay, that is the closest answer, because it allows teams to revisit and refine their work in short, repeatable cycles. This approach emphasizes small, usable portions of the product while accommodating evolving customer needs. So, which means that this particular development approach ensures that the adaptability factor to changing customer requirements. So which means this particular option is the right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, how does the Agile Manifesto define success? So we're talking about success according to Agile Manifesto. Okay, so the first option, delivering the project on time and within budget. Um, though it says delivering on time, but it does not say whether we have delivered it according to what the customer requires and whether we have delivered it according to the um, the quality that is expected by the customer or not. So, which means this option could not be a right answer. Okay, delivering with high quality working software. Yes, this could be a right answer because that is what we work towards in Agile. So providing high quality to the customer and working software with every increment that we are talking about. Okay, so let's park this option aside even before finalizing it as a right answer and look at the rest of the options. Okay, C, completing all planned scope. This again is a very vague in terms of whether it's completed within budget or not, whether we have reached the customer satisfaction or not. That's not talking about it, so it is not a right option. And achieving a high return on investment. Okay, that is also very close, but this is a potential result of delivering a particular product, but it is not explicitly defined as the Agile Manifesto's measure of success. So again, this is not the right answer. So when we look at all the options, the most suitable and the right answer is focusing on delivering high quality and working software. So that's the right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next domain, leadership. And the first question here is servant leadership in Agile focuses on. Okay, let's look at the options. Controlling decision-making process. So this is again exactly opposite to what we are talking about, servant leadership. Servant leadership and controlling decision-making process goes in reverse direction, goes opposite to each other, contradicting each other. Okay, so that is definitely not the right answer. Removing impediments and serving the team. Yes, absolutely. This is the major activity or major responsibility of a servant leader in Agile process. Okay, so let's park it and look at the rest of the options. And delegating all tasks to the team. Never ever an Agile leader or Agile servant leader delegates any tasks to the team. The team is self-dependent, and self-organized. They delegate the tasks among themselves, but they are not delegated by any Agile leader. So that's not the right answer. And D, prioritizing the leader's vision. Again, if we look at Agile, we always talk about prioritizing the team's perspective and the team's decisions rather than any leader's decision or vision. Okay, so that's again an incorrect answer when it comes to option D. So looking at all the options, the most appropriate and the right answer is B, removing impediments and serving the team. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which leadership style aligns most with Agile principles? Okay, so we're talking about leadership styles here. The options are directive. Directive is you're just telling the team what to do and what not to do and how to proceed. So it's like more of instructing the team in each and every step, which is not a right approach, or which is definitely opposite to what Agile says as a leadership style. So that's not the right approach. And second option here is coaching. Yes, that could be the right answer, because why am I saying could be? Because I'll not finalize it until I read the rest of the two options as well. So why coaching could be the right answer is because Agile leader always have to try and coach the team members to make them better in terms of their delivery and in terms of working as a team member and in terms of practicing agile principles. So it is always coaching that an agile leader does. Okay, so that could be the right answer. We'll park it and look at the next option. Authoritative, definitely not. Okay, so in the previous question itself, we have seen that an agile leader should always be a servant leader, not an authoritative leader. Okay, so C, option C is wrong. And option D, transformational, yes. So agile coach or agile leader helps, helps the team members transform. But how do the person do it? How do the agile leader do it? Through coaching. Again, that points us to the option B, which is the most appropriate and right answer. Yep. Okay, moving on to the next domain, product. And this is a scenario-based question. Okay, let's look at the scenario. And this is a little lengthy question, so I'll start with the last lines first. What should the agile team do? Okay, so now the question is for the agile team's next action in this particular scenario. All right, the product owner has decided to reprioritize the product backlog based on new market research findings. Okay, who is doing it? The product owner. And what is he doing? He's reprioritizing the product backlog based on the new market research findings. Okay, so let's see what agile team has to do here based on the options. The first option, ignore the new market research findings and continue working on the existing backlog. Again, as a product owner who is, as a scrum team basically, or an agile team basically. So when we are working with a client, we should always work towards providing a better and improvised version and a better quality and a competitive product to the customer rather than just going with whatever that has been initially discussed and delivering that. Okay, so if the product owner has if the team also has identified any new market research findings, there is a platform that they can discuss. If the team has identified, they can discuss in one of the iteration meetings, and then they can bring up that to the product owner so that the product backlog can be refined. However, if the product owner has looked at it, then the product owner cannot ignore. So that has to be taken up with the customer. And the team also should not, refuse to add these changes or refine the product backlog in that scenario. So that means A is the wrong answer. Refuse to reprioritize the backlog as it disrupts the current sprint plan. Again, like I explained with the previous option, the team cannot refuse because that hinders the effectiveness of that particular product in the market. Okay, or the competitiveness of that particular product. Okay, so that's not the right option as well. Option C, collaborate with the product owner to understand the research findings and adjust the backlog accordingly. Okay, so now, so this is the most appropriate among the three that we have read so far. Okay, so whenever the team comes across such scenario, it is always collaboration that works well in an agile team. Okay, either it could be internally within the agile team or with the customer or the stakeholders. So it is always collaboration that works effectively, and that is what Agile Manifesto talks about. Okay, so that could be the right answer. And before finalizing it, let's see the last option. Immediately implement all changes without discussing with the team. Again, that's not the right answer. So that shows the dictatorship or directive approach of a particular product owner, and that's not recommended within an agile team. Okay, so the most appropriate answer in these four options is option C, is collaboration. Right. Okay, moving on to the next question. Again, another scenario-based question. So reading the last line first. What should the team do next? Again, it's the question to the team. The development team has completed a user story, but during the sprint review, the stakeholders are not satisfied with the outcome. Okay, so the keywords that we are supposed to underline here are stakeholders not satisfied and sprint review. Okay, so these are the two key words. Uh, what has happened and where it has happened. All right, and let's see the options. Ignore the stakeholders' feedback and move on to the next user story. Absolutely not. The very purpose of having a sprint review is to take the feedback from the stakeholders and implement in the upcoming sprint. Definitely not the right option. Okay, moving on. Discuss the stakeholders' concerns and collaborate on potential improvements for the next iteration. Yes, could be the right answer, because again, just as in the previous question, we're talking about collaboration here, understanding what improvements could be made, discussing with the stakeholders, understanding what their concerns are. So that could be a right approach, but we'll finalize it after going through the rest of the options. C, immediately start working on a new user story to address the stakeholders' dissatisfaction. Okay, so without, this is like jumping into conclusion and immediately starting off without clearly understanding what the requirements are and why the concerns have been brought up and where is the dissatisfaction is all about from the stakeholder. So that's not a right approach, because it's very hasty approach. Okay, and D, reject the stakeholders' feedback and defend the team's work. Absolutely not. That's going exactly opposite to agile ways of working. So that's not the right answer. So of the options that are provided, B is the most appropriate and the right answer, because we're working in collaboration with the stakeholder and adapting their feedback into the next iteration. So that's the right answer. Okay, moving on to the next domain, delivery. Okay, again, a situation-based question. What should the team do? The agile team is struggling to meet the sprint timeline due to unforeseen technical challenges. Okay, what would be the keywords here? Struggling to meet the sprint timeline, and the other keyword could be due to unforeseen technical challenges. Okay, these are the keywords, and let's see what are the options. Extend the sprint duration to accommodate the challenges. Okay, so this is the very basic thing that we have to understand here is sprints are all equal and cannot be, the sprint durations are all equal throughout the project. They cannot be changed or they cannot be modified for a specific sprint. Either the sprint could be completed with whatever user stories and how much ever of the user stories could be completed during that particular sprint, or the sprint could be cancelled by the product owner if the requirements change and the whatever user stories that are taken for that particular sprint are no more valid. So these two can happen, but the sprint duration cannot be extended at any point of time. So that's an absolutely wrong answer. Okay, B, skip testing to save time and meet the timeline. Okay, that's definitely wrong answer, because testing is very key in terms of providing a proper quality product to the customer. So testing cannot be skipped at any point of time. So that's wrong answer again. Seek help from an external consultant to resolve the challenges. I don't think so. That's the right answer as well. So this could be coming probably at a later stage, I would say, if the team is not a team cannot come up with any solution at all, collaborating with each other or working in the retrospective, or working together as a team and trying to understand, approaching the product owner and all that. So after all the approaches that are made, this could be a last resort that can be done as going for an external consultant, but not an immediate option as soon as any technical challenge is faced. Okay, so C is a wrong answer as well. Okay, D, collaborate with the product owner to reprioritize the backlog. Yes, absolutely. So that actually goes into the root cause of the issue. So why are they actually struggling to meet the timeline? It could be because the user stories are lengthy, or probably not in the right order, and they are struggling to put them in the right order, struggling to develop them in the appropriate manner in all the user stories. So, which means they have to work with the product owner in collaboration with the product owner, reprioritize the product backlog. So that is the right answer. Again, that is suiting to our agile principles. Okay, the next question here, and the last question as well. The agile team is experiencing conflicts among team members during sprint planning meetings. What should the agile coach do to address the issue? Okay, so I've read this in the sequence as the question is given. However, when I look at the last set of question, I'm showing it practically to you. I'm showing it because what happens in a scenario when the question is lengthy and we do not read the last section first and we start reading from the beginning, what happens is what I'm trying to tell you now. So I've read the situation and I've read again in the last point that what should the agile coach do to address this issue. So when it comes to the perspective of an agile coach, again, we'll have to look back, okay, what is the question all about? Okay, what is the scenario now? So this means you are revisiting the question from the beginning again after looking at what perspective the question is from. Okay, so in such scenarios, that is why we say, I recommend you always that you read the last lines first when the question is lengthy or when the question is definitely a scenario-based question. Okay, so let's look at the question. Okay, here it is asking about what should be the agile coach's action in this particular situation. What is the situation? The team is experiencing conflicts among the team members during sprint planning meetings. When is it happening? During the sprint planning meetings. And let's see the options. A, ignore the conflicts as they'll resolve themselves over time. Okay, so this is again, ignoring the conflicts will not resolve actually. So here, an agile coach, what should the agile coach do is to try and help the team resolve. The agile coach will not resolve it directly, but then will help the team to come up with a resolution. So he or she will facilitate that particular environment or a forum wherein the team talks together, talks to each other, and resolves those issues. Okay, ignoring conflicts is definitely not an option, not an agile coach's role actually. So that's okay, a wrong answer. And facilitate a team building workshop to improve communication and collaboration. Absolutely, this is what I was talking about. So that as an agile coach, the agile coach has to work towards facilitating a working environment for the team members and how to improve their relationships and work together. So that is what the coach has to do rather than proposing solutions or resolving it, jumping into it directly or ignoring it as well. So these are all incorrect. Or but facilitating the environment or that sort of a forum is the right approach. So B is the right approach, but we'll finalize that after seeing the rest of the two options. Remove the team members causing conflicts from the project? Absolutely not. So what happens if the new team members coming into the team also do the same thing and the conflicts again appear among the team members? So how long will you continue to remove the team members who are creating these sort of problems or conflicts? So that's not the right option at all. So C is not a right option. And D, escalate the conflicts to senior management for intervention. Again, in the previous call also we have seen one of scenarios like this. So at any point of time, escalating or involving a third party in a particular agile team is the last and least preferred action or an option. Okay, so D is not appropriate here. That's because we have an option of facilitating. Okay, so which means B is the right answer for this scenario. Okay, that brings us to the last part or last question here, and we are at the end of the coaching call. Hope you have liked the questions and hope you have gained some insights and knowledge about how the PMI ACP examination is going to be. And if you want to go through a complete coaching of what PMI ACP is all about and what are the various domains and what is the content in all these domains. So I have a batch program offered for you, which will have various sets of approaches. First is, in addition to the current weekly coaching call that I'm doing this on YouTube, we'll also have a weekly coaching call with my batch members. Okay, that's discussing again more and more questions in detail and understanding the right approaches in terms of answering the questions. Okay, and the next thing is a customized roadmap. I'll have a customized roadmap for each one of you if you join my batch program, and that will give you a proper and guided approach towards your success in PMI ACP certification. And in addition to that, I will also offer you a best simulator to go through mock questions or a sample questions like we are seeing in this particular session. So all those sessions you will be doing, all those questions you will be solving on a simulator, which actually, that resembles the PMI ACP examination simulator as well. So you'll have a timeline that is counting down from 180 minutes to 0, as in how you're solving the questions. Okay, which will help you understand how much time you're taking, and which will definitely develop the time you're taking or improve the timings that you're taking for each and every question. Okay, and guaranteed application approval. So when you apply for ACP certification examination on the PMI portal, you'll definitely have a guaranteed application approval process from me. That is what I'm offering you. And PMI requirement for ACP examination is a 28 PDUs, set of 28 PDUs that you should definitely have even before you attempt the question. Again, that's part of the application process, which I will offer you. You will have 28 PDUs as well to appear for the PMI ACP examination through my personal coaching to you. And daily follow-up. Yes, I'll follow up with you, with every one of you on a daily basis to understand how far you have progressed and what have you learned so far in the batch program, and in your personal preparation, how far have you been progressing, and what are the challenges that you're facing, and where do you need help. I'll be hand-holding every one of you towards success, and that is my batch program. So if you are interested to join my batch program, you can contact the details given below. Mr. Amer Ali, who is my mentor, my coach, and he's the person you are supposed to contact, and he'll guide you further about the batch program. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining the coaching call, and we'll meet again in the next week's coaching call on Wednesday. Thank you now. Bye-bye.